Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today we are talking Battlefield 2042 Season 7. What do you guys want to see from this season? What do you think the game needs at the moment? And what would you like to see changed? I will be starting this conversation off with some of my own ideas, but I would love to hear from you all below in the comments section, so get down there and get commenting. If you guys do enjoy the content here on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future Season 7 videos. Thank you guys, as always, so much for the support. Okay, so let's begin with the maps here. All we know so far, of course, is that Season 7 will deliver two maps. One of them is set in Chile, and it appears to be an urban environment. So I wrote down on my list here before we got that announcement a few days ago, and I've put urban warfare map as one of my top items. So this new map certainly seems to fulfill that criteria, at least going from the artwork that we've seen so far. Now, some people have speculated that it's a remake of Atacama Desert from Bad Company 2 because of the writing on the wall. I don't think that it is. That map wasn't set in a residential area, and this one obviously is. So most likely the same area of Chile, but not the same exact location, not the same map. Hopefully there will be some vehicles on it, but perhaps not like we see in most of the all-out warfare maps. Maybe just ground vehicles without air vehicles for a change, so that they get a little bit of a chance to shine for once, similar to maps like Propaganda from Battlefield 4 or Grand Bazaar from Battlefield 3. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing another infantry-only map. Maybe one a little less meat-grindy than Redacted, but perhaps more akin to Zebra Tower, for example, from BF3, where instead of having a linear map with fewer lanes that lead to these meat-grinder sections, you have a square map with more spaced-out fighting. However, you guys know me, I do like my vehicles in Battlefield, and so I hope the second map is a large-scale, all-out warfare map that does include all of the vehicles. So far, it looks like this second map will be somewhere in the Middle East, so if we go all the way back to the initial announcement here, the initial tease of Season 7 with the two maps on the table, you can see that the left map has what looks like a smudged line pointing directly at Chile. I don't see any such line on the right map, but this is obviously somewhere in the Middle East, and some people think that it'll be Bahrain, which is an island pretty close to Qatar, in fact where the Hourglass map takes place. So perhaps there'll be some new narrative that ties into that. Other than that, I would like to see some more Portal map remakes, of course. I still think it's a crying shame, honestly, that we haven't seen even one new map for Portal. There are just so many good maps out there to choose from, so hopefully that's something that we'll see in the future. So it'll probably come as no surprise to most of you that one of my most requested items in my Season 7 wishlist is a new vehicle. And when I say vehicle, I don't mean another transport vehicle like the Pondhawk, I mean a proper vehicle. But what sort of a vehicle could actually fit into the game and fill a role that we don't already have? Well, my top pick always has to be another jet, namely the attack jet. It's the only vehicle category in the game that only has a single vehicle, so it seems like a no-brainer. However, I have heard DICE devs say that they think it would upset the balance of the game too much, and that they don't want the jets to have too much power against ground targets, so I do think that is unlikely. Secondly, I would love to see attack boats and naval combat make a return to the game. Bahrain is an island, so that is a possibility there. And thirdly, and I think perhaps most excitedly, I would love to see an early prototype of the bipedal walking mechs from Battlefield 2142. So DICE have been sneaking this flower logo into their videos and their artwork here, there, and everywhere recently. Most recently, in fact, on the new map picture in Chile. This is the logo for the PAC, the Pan-Asian Coalition, or what will become the PAC in the future, which was one of the two factions in Battlefield 2142. Now, why do DICE keep teasing this? Let's not forget that Battlefield 4 was set in 2020, and in the Final Stand DLC for that game, we saw some early prototypes of vehicles from 2142 like the hover tank. There was also a mech facility where these giant walkers were being constructed, so they could easily move the narrative of 2042 forward by another few years and start producing some of these mechs. I just think that that would be so awesome. It would introduce something a little bit different. It's not quite a tank. It's a little bit more vertical, a little bit more susceptible to RPGs and things like that. And it would just make for something a little bit different. Now, the next thing that I would really like to see is more improvements to the vault weapons. If you guys remember, they did add a bunch of attachments for vault weapons, vastly improving their performance and rebalancing them. However, I still don't feel really, the urge to pick most of them up over the base weapons. There are certainly some outliers and some of them can be very effective, but I just feel like they're still somewhat lacking. A big part of it, I think, is the fact that they don't have tier 1 skins, and you may say, what do skins matter? But I honestly do think that players enjoy working towards mastering a weapon and unlocking that skin and getting that little red logo. Furthermore, the default skins for these weapons are really the definition of generic and very uninspiring, so I feel that that is definitely an area that they could really improve on. As for new weapons for the game, I think I speak for us all when I say the more the merrier, so seeing 5 new weapons instead of just 2 or 3 would be amazing. I do think that there's a pretty good selection of weapons overall, so I'm fairly easy to please when it comes to weapon categories, but I myself am more of an assault rifle SMG guy, but I think that offering 1 new weapon for each category would be a good, safe way to go. And finally here, I would like to see the addition of the TV missile for the attack helicopter's gunner seat. This vehicle has seen a lot of improvement recently, and I know what you guys are thinking, oh my god, please Ghost, not more buffs for the helicopters, but just hear me out here. So it's still missing that one key part of its arsenal. However, I do think that the other weapons, they would need to be toned down a little bit to balance this out. The tow missiles and the rocket pods are very powerful against tanks already, and adding a TV without changing the rest of the weapons would, I think, be a touch too far. But that is what I would personally like to see in the next season. Let me know what you'd like to see in the comments below, and if you missed this video the other day going over the road to Season 7 and the first ever tease of one of the 2 new maps, go and give that one a watch. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.